Welcome, everyone, to the Infernal Brotherhood of the Scruffy-looking Nerf Herders. This is a live streaming Star Wars podcast by Star Wars fans for Star Wars fans. And today we're going to be continuing our, oh my god, I almost said episodic review. It's like I got fucking PTSD or some shit. Yes, I guess it's kind of episodic. Anyways, we are diving into part 2 of the Heir to the Empire trilogy with Dark Force Rising.
So this is part 2 of, I was actually going to do the Timothy Zahn saying he's a scruffy looking Nerf herder, but I totally forgot. My bad.
That's okay.
To confirm, he is in fact a scruffy looking Nerf herder.
Can confirm. I was there.
What was that like, by the way?
So I don't give a fuck about famous people at all. Like, I've made people mad because I refuse to fall and suckle at the teat of fame. Yeah. Authors are my rock stars, and I was shaking and trying to not stumble over my words or sound like an asshole.
I love you. I mean,
it was a very, very close call on the I love you part. Because like these are the people that create dreams and shit. Like they're magicians.
They create dreams. Yeah,
they do. They take me away from my shitty day-to-day life. So it's magic.
And we need them now more than ever.
My God.
Sweet
yes.
fucking hell. So this is a novel by Timothy Zahn. It was originally released in hardcover by Bantam Spectra on May 1992. If you were alive, you know that was a year.
Yeah.
And in the Star Wars universe, it is a 9 after the batter.
Yes.
The battering of Yavin, which is a chicken wing. For those of you who don't know.
Yavin was battered, I guess.
Yavin is one of those places that, like, it was seeded by the Sith back in the fucking day. And Skywalker came in and he was like, you know what? I'm planting a flag. He was manifest destinying Yavin before the fucking, like, European Americans did that to America in the Star Wars universe.
True. That is pretty problematic. He's a fucking towhead. So, yeah.
You can't say that word. Only we can say that.
I came out a towhead, so I can say that.
Hey, Chris, how you doing, man? All right, it has been a minute. So we're going to be talking about the novel Dark Force Rising, right?
Yes, sir.
That's what it's called?
Yes, Dark Force Rising.
I listened to the audiobook, and they spoke Joris Sabayoth, or however they said it, wildly different than I said it, which fucked me up the whole time.
And wildly different than it's actually intended to be said.
Oh, really? How's it supposed to be said?
Well, isn't it?
I don't know.
Hold on,
We had this conversation the first time, but that was like a month and a half ago, and I don't remember.
Yeah.
I'm an old man. I barely remember my own name or when I need to use the bathroom.
I get it.
In any case, this is book 2 of 3, and so this is like the Empire Strikes Back of the Thrawn trilogy. And I'm not talking about the modern Thrawn trilogy, which, all right, it's good. It's fine. It's very Star Trek-y, but it's fine.
It's good, but even Zahn has gone on record of saying, they fucking took my balls away from me on this one. This is what you get.
Yeah, which sucks. You never want to hear someone say they took their balls away. You just want to feel them warm on your chin, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because otherwise, you don't feel complete. And yeah, just double checking it. Sabayoth or Sabayoth.
Sabayoth.
Right. So I don't know how they're doing it in the audiobook because I actually read it. I didn't do an audiobook, which is really kind of a twist for me.
It's a twist for me too. I've been reading a lot in the past number of years, but with my new job, I don't just have any time to read at all. So I just have to listen on my way to and from work. So this was my breaking through the audiobook door after so many years. Nice. In any case, I had a great time listening to this novel, and it felt very Star Wars. And I get really upset when I see other reviews online and they're like, what a garbage pile fucking novel this is. This makes no sense. And yes, there are moments where there's character motivations where I question legitimacy, Mara Jade. I'm looking at you specifically. And then also, some other stuff. Sabayoth, you make no sense at all in this whole trilogy. But, for the sake of
that's the thing is
Star
like,
Wars,
he makes sense because he's fucking batshit crazy. So it's like anything that he does, it's like, oh, okay, well, you're legit insane, so I guess that's okay.
But then so we understand that looking from the outside in. Everyone in universe understands that, except Thrawn sought him out.
Mm-hmm.
So what the fuck, yo? Like, why would you seek out what we, spoiler alert, in the third volume, we're going to realize that, oh, he's not actually him. He's a carbon copy of a carbon copy. Like, he's not really him. Why are you looking for him? Like, why are you looking for his help? What the fuck is his role in all of this?
That's the thing, is that was an accident. Because they were going to Mount Tannis, because that was where the Emperor's stockpile of shit was.
Yeah.
That we don't find out about what it is until hinted at the end of this book, but the beginning of next book we figure it out. And he just so happened to be there. So Thrawn was like, well, I guess I'll use you because you're here. So it's not like he actually sought him out. It was more a means to an end of like, oh, you can clearly go crazy and murder all of us. We should stroke your ego.
Hey.
Kind of like a weird cultural relevancy that we get nowadays.
Right. Hey, you're an insane person that wants to rule over the world. Yeah, we'll just stroke your ego or point out how you are an emperor with no clothes. And there's literally no in between. It's either you're sucking the dick or you're going, why the fuck are you sucking a cartoon dick? It's not a real dick. Those are the only two fucking options in this universe. And we see it in Star Wars. We see it in real life. Fuck Trump is what I'm saying. Fuck that loser and his entire administration. Fuck you if you like him. You're a fucking cunt. All right.
Absolutely.
That being said,
I would rather have whatever. I'd rather have Joris. I'd rather have Joris. Because at least he has magical powers.
I really don't like this dude. I don't like anything about him. But it's compounded by the fact that I really don't like Mara Jade in this trilogy.
That's the thing.
We talked about this before.
Yeah. She ends up becoming one of Zahn's greatest characters. Ends up becoming.
Right.
It's very much like it's the bullying school when you're in like elementary school where like, harumph, you did something that made me mad and I'm not going to tell you why, but I'm going to pick on you until we become best friends. And then eventually you fuck him and marry him. So
we've all been there.
We've all been there. But yeah, it's like, it's in further novels, like when you get to the real backstory, like Choices of One, I forget which fuck it's called, but that's like one of his greatest novels, and that is her at the forefront before the fall of the Empire.
Oh, really?
And it's so perfect. But yeah, with this, it's fucking killer.
Oh shit.
It's the one that actually came out right before the anniversary edition of Heir to the Empire.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's a good one.
All right.
In this though, yeah, she is kind of like, man, fuck you, Skywalker.
I mean, she was that in the first one, so it's not like a change in character. It's just like. No. It's been 5 years. Can you get over it?
Right?
Like, it's been 5 years. 5 years ago, I don't remember what I was upset about. Like, come on, grow a little bit, for fuck's sake.
Right, especially given the fact that she actually has a life together right now.
Yeah.
Like, she is a second in command with Talon.
Yeah.
And, I mean, all she had to do was just mind her own fucking business, and everything would have been great.
Mm-hmm. Skywalker, how dare you? And she hears like the Emperor's voice in her head, and she can't like come unless she hears it.
I believe it.
I would watch that movie actually.
Now
that I'm saying it out loud. I believe it 100%. So this all picks up from the last novel because it's the second novel, which makes perfect sense.
Yeah, go figure.
Ultimately, Talon Karrde is like trying to get the fuck out of Dodge because obviously Grand Admiral Thrawn knows that he helped Skywalker escape, but he doesn't want to admit that, and he gets captured, even though that, that's what happens when you have a Grand Admiral in your ass. Ultimately, Luke Skywalker is hearing like these calls out from the galaxy, this draw, And I find Skywalker's experience with Joruus wildly fascinating because we have to remember as we're facing Skywalker right now, he is the most powerful Jedi in the universe that we understand. But he's only had like 2 masters for like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So he doesn't know fuck about fuck. He doesn't know anything. And I love the moments where he's like listening to Joruus tell him like, no, Jedi should rule the world. And he's like, huh. Should I listen to this? Because this sounds like it could, like, I don't know. Maybe this is what Obi-Wan and Yoda were trying to get to eventually. Like, he really has no idea.
Right.
There's a great moment where he just had, like, meter out the punishment or the outcome of some sort of, like, poker game. Or it was like some crazy guy was hired for some purpose, and the Rodian paid him in Imperial credits, and he has to like suss out the reality of the outcome. He's just like, what the fuck am I gonna do here? I wasn't trained for this.
Yeah, that's the great part, especially considering well, I guess not but like right around the time of A New Hope, the Jedi are a myth.
Yeah.
Like, they're not a reality. Like, that's stories and all that stuff. But yet, just a few short years after the Battle of Yavin,
later,
like, people are like, well, yeah, obviously that's what the Jedi do. And the one and only Jedi is like, wait, it is? I mean, yes, it is. I will help with this. Yeah, I did love the outcome. Pulling in, God, what the fuck was his name? Do we have that written down? I was terrible. Okay. I was terrible with taking notes. I stopped probably about a third of the way through the book because I just kept getting so caught up in it that I wasn't remembering to write shit down.
Yeah.
But what was it? Fennec or?
Yeah, Fennec Shand.
No, it wasn't Fennec Shand because that's the chick from the Book of Boba Fett.
That's true. That's funny. It is Fennec though. Like, he has his wraith.
I'm pretty sure it's
his
Fennec
name is like
Ferric or something.
Ferric. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, so
he's a fun character.
Yeah, he's a dick.
I can't remember. Well, I like him because he's the Han Solo of no morals.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's out for himself, and if he has to work with fucking Luke Skywalker begrudgingly, if he has to work with Lando Calrissian to save his ass, no matter what he's going to do it to save his own tuchus.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's going to use his wraith, which is a weird species to be introducing in this trilogy. That can just like a shadow creature until he gets like fucked up in the end of this book, where you're just like, whoa, simmer down, dude. It's crazy because it makes no sense at all. Like, this creature doesn't have any like semblance of reality. Where it's like, okay, he's a shadow. That's normal. That's just a thing that exists.
It's just basically like the Cheshire Cat. Because I think like the second time, like right when he was getting his ass beat or whatever, it was like, oh yeah, and if you looked real close, you could see his eyes and his grin. And it's like, oh, so it is the Cheshire Cat.
Sweet.
I was wondering what he was up to.
Yeah, I like Alice too. I eat the undersides of mushrooms. Don't you? I thought everything about this is a wonderful setup because it creates a world, a galaxy that is in utter turmoil. There is no abject good guys and abject bad guys, just self-interest. And that feeds to how we understand our world, and so it's believable.
Yeah. Well, I especially love that aspect. I mean, we're kind of jumping all over, but I don't think that really matters. But like when Leia and Chewie are trapped on... what the fuck is it called?
Yeah, it's that planet.
The planet of the Nori.
The Nogri, the planet.
Yeah,
Honegger.
I just fucking finished this last night, and of course I can't remember shit.
It's Honegger.
But it's great because you get that really hammered down of like, yes, the Empire is abjectly evil, but this planet was destroyed because there was a fucking battle between, supposedly it was between the rebellion and the Empire, and then of course the ships crash planetside. shit's released into the air, it kills everything, and then the Empire saved them, which,
Yeah.
later find out they're not.
Yeah.
And then also later find out that it wasn't a battle between the New Republic and the Empire. It was the fucking Old Republic. It was during the Clone Wars that they were fighting. So
44 years ago.
55
Oh shit.
is what it was. It was like 55 fucking years, I think. I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on that. One of us is right. But
right?
No, definitely one of us is right. Because we are, of course, experts on the Star Wars. But yeah, like just the fact that the head of the house that they're staying with is talked about. Oh yeah, I've sent my son's son, and then Leia does the math and realizes, fuck, that's your grandson that you sent.
It's been that long. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love this. There's a couple different storylines happening all at once. First of all, Thrawn is trying to get the this sort of like mythical fleet of autonomous Star Destroyers, because honestly, at this point in the EU, the Empire is kind of on their last leg. They don't really have fuck all. No one even really knows about Thrawn being a Grand Admiral or even existing before this novel specifically, which is brought to the New Republic. But by the time it's brought to the New Republic's attention, he has already had his minions seeding dissent in the New Republic, crumbling it from within. Cut to Bothans, who are, let's be fair, adorable, but also fucking assholes.
Yeah, they're also cunts. And, a lot of...
They're the Elon Musks.
No.
Yeah, they are.
Because they're at least useful to an extent.
Fela is 100% Elon. Douchebag extraordinaire.
100. Yeah, I'll agree with that. Bothans in general, no.
Right.
Fela is a cunt and a half.
Yeah. 100%. But I love that about this, is because it the complexities of a rebellion fighting against an empire are one thing, but once you get in power, whoa, what the fuck then? Like you have to navigate political fucking universes. You have an entire galaxy of worlds to try to like connect with and empathize with and make deals with. And of course there's going to be people who are trying to like scheme their way into positions of power in a galaxy. Like, of course it's going to happen. And we just happen to have the Bothans doing it because of the actions of Thrawn, who is just insidious and seeping his fucking weird chiss, blue-skinned, red-eyed penis tentacles into the machinations of the New Republic. It's just, of course it's going to happen. And I love that it makes me hate that character so much, because that means it's good writing. Yeah,
100%. That's the worst feeling from any sort of art is meh.
Yeah, right.
Like if you don't feel one way or the other, then they failed.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I thought this novel was a lot of fun because we had the whole Thrawn trying to find the Katana fleet, which is this, again, mythical Old Republic sort of connected autonomous fleet that we then saw a smidgen of, for those of you who aren't familiar with the EU, in The Last Skywalker, because they connected that storyline element to that bullshit movie.
Yeah.
But then we also get like the whole daughter of Vader on Honegger with the what are they called? The Nogri?
Nogri, I don't honestly
whatever
know.
they're called.
Yeah.
This entirely new species that you had already spoken about. And then we also get Luke going off with Joris, trying to understand, like, are the Jedi still a thing? I thought I was the last one. I thought Obi-Wan and Yoda were the last one. And yet here's this dude clearly touched the dark side. This novel proves beyond a doubt that The Last Jedi was a fucking monstrosity. Because even now, 9 years after his father was redeemed from the dark side of the Force, after he defeated the Emperor, he still wants to convert this rando, no one is connected in his life at all, but this old Jedi Master from the Clone Wars, he wants to convert him to the light side of the Force, because that's what fucking Luke Skywalker does. Everyone can be brought back. That is what the character does. Unless
Oh,
you're
yeah.
Rian Johnson, in which case you don't know fuck off anything about fucking Star Wars or Luke Skywalker, and you're just going to create some bullshit movie and fucking enrage the goddamn fan base, dividing it for all time and fucking the entire fucking IP. Thank you, dick fuck babyface cunt. Ugh! Not that I care.
Yeah, he's got some opinions. Maybe.
It makes me so
He might
mad.
discuss it sometime.
It makes me so mad because this novel alone plays into the aspect of Luke that is so wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
He is ever patient. He is ever willing to see the good in a bad person, and he will go to any lengths to try his hardest to bring you back from the pits of despair or the deepest depths of the dark side. And yet this incredibly important aspect of the character is completely ignored by fucking Disney.
Yep.
It's the sole reason why everyone connects with Luke Skywalker on an intimate level. And it's a very Superman trope. His unending hope, the sense of redemption, that everyone, no matter how desperately evil you may be, can come back. And they fucked that up. How the fuck did you fuck
so
that up?
royally. Yeah.
Makes me so mad. All right, what are we talking about again?
I think we were talking about a book at one point.
Oh yeah, Dark Force Rising. So I love the Luke Skywalker arc because he's doing his best to try to navigate. First of all, he doesn't have an academy yet. You know, he's doing his best to try to navigate the complexities of this universe, being literally, as far as he understands, the only Jedi Master until he meets Joruus, and he's like, "Oh shit, there's another one out there." And then he says, "Oh, I've been sensing yet another one." And he's like, "Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. I've felt her too. She smells like flowers, and I want to touch her vagina." It's like, yeah, we all know who you're talking about. Fucking Mara, of course. We all want to touch her vagina. And then she is all what I love best about her. She doesn't give a fuck about anything. She, first of all, is trying to get over the trauma of having a master that is so impressionable and powerful as the Emperor, the most powerful Sith Lord in generations. And yet also trying to navigate, like, I want to separate myself from this complexity and just like connect with this new life that I've created for myself and reach out and help Talon Card, but realizing I can't do it without fucking Luke Skywalker.
Right. That's the best part of all of it is she fucking hates him so much because he is her enemy, like pure and simple, because he took everything from her. But yet, of course, he's a nice guy. He's like, "Oh no, it's cool, man. I'll do whatever you need to help. It's fine." And every step of the way, she's kicking and screaming like, "I fucking hate you, but I need your help."
I just imagine like their wedding night is a whole lot of like her fighting against his penis and then just like swallowing it. Like, I don't want to like. There's a lot.
I mean, that is in one of the books, definitely. Yeah,
that's there. There's a comic about it. It was adult. Ask questions. So, like, we get to team up with Han Solo and fucking Lando Calrissian, which is the greatest fucking thing ever.
Always great.
And they're doing nothing but getting in trouble. Like,
yeah, the whole fucking time.
It's the best. Like, of course they're going to get in trouble. But we got this really beautiful moment of Han Solo, which also makes me hate the fucking sequel trilogies even more in retrospect, where he's like, I haven't seen my wife for a month. A month! What the hell are we doing here?
Yeah, he's like ready to destroy everything just to go home and touch his wife's butt.
Like, yeah, like, of course. Why wouldn't you? Like, it's so amazing. He's like, why the fuck won't that Mon Mothma bitch let my beautiful wife be a Jedi? She is like dragging her down this political bullshit zone where I can't touch her butt. And I can't see she's pregnant with my kids. And I can't even spend time with her because I'm out chasing the fucking galaxy trying to solve the problems that the New Republic is creating. And I just want to spend time with my wife. That's all I want in my world. That's it. Like,
well, that's, of course, the best part with his arc, too, is the fact that he's not even a part of this shit anymore.
Mm-hmm.
He's resigned. A general. Yeah, he's a general in title, like honorific title only.
So great. So ultimately, Han and Lando are doing their sort of like shenanigans, they realize that there's a Katana fleet because they connect up with what's the dude's name? General Garm Bel Idris, who is a
Hmm.
part of the rebellion, but he's got beef with Mon Mothma because why wouldn't you? She seems like someone you would have beef with.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not gonna join the Empire or the Rebellion or the New Republic unless she apologizes. And she's like, I'm not going to apologize because he has a wiener. And he's like, I have a wiener because you have a vagina. So I'm not going. It's just the most ridiculous bullshit, childish thing ever.
Right. It is kind of like that's the only aspect of this novel that I was kind of like, come on. Because it's like the whole idea of him being this high, like really high in regard Corellian senator, and then supposedly dies, but doesn't die, but goes into hiding and just kind of, throws sand in the Empire's eyes every now and then. Like never actually does any real lasting damage, just sort of like, ruined your sandwich, turd. But he refuses to join the rebellions later on the New Republic because he's like, no, what we're doing is important. It's like, is it though?
The thing is, I sort of reflect back on the whole concept of the rebellion and that it's this disparate terrorist cell driven operation, which is very loose and tenuous to begin with. And so for me, it makes perfect sense that there would be some people who go along with the New Republic and the structure of trying to reform the galaxy. And the other half is like, no, let's just bring it all down and let's just act independently. Like that makes perfect sense to me. It's very much similar to like, let's form a one world government versus no, let's be independent nations. And we sort of see that with politics in the last 50 years. And we certainly see that in the galaxy far, far away in the EU. And it makes perfect sense to me. I don't, it's frustrating because you want that sort of good v bad, good guy win, bad guy fail type dichotomy. But the complexities of politics are so much more involved in that you can't pretend like there is an ultimate good versus bad, because once a good guy gets into place, they have to subjugate the rights of others in order to make their position stable. And it will forever be a sort of like a big brother v independence situation, no matter who's in charge. And that's what's so glorious about this sort of EU aspect, in my opinion, is that as much as you want the New Republic to win, you get why it doesn't ever win. Like it's always a battle and a struggle because you're fighting for something that is against the natural structure of existence, freedom and independence. Like,
right. Autonomy.
It's
the
meant
novel fucking ideas.
It's difficult because you need support, you need structure, you need infrastructure, you need other resources feeding in to maintain stability of any given organization or organism ultimately. But this is a galaxy scale. Of course, it's going to be challenging. Like the fucking of all the people who could have done it, the Empire, they failed. So, what the fuck hope does the New Republic have? This tiny fractured thing.
Well, and especially because they're so easy to, succumb to infighting. Like it was. I mean, now granted, it was kind of a big deal, not big deal thing. Some funds were transferred to Admiral Akbar's account, all sneaky and suspiciously. But it's like, you guys can't even get your shit together enough to just sweep that under the rug like a normal fucking government. Like, come on.
But ultimately, Fela wanted a position of authority, and so he would do anything to squash Akbar. And, Akbar is this sort of grand rebellion hero that if he could get on top of that, he could ride that fucking wave for decades and be in charge. And we just see this play out in our regular lives with politics. Like people will capitalize on anything in order to make themselves seem grander. And if you get a step on a hero to get there, that just puts you so much far ahead. And as sick as it is when you're reflecting on it, like I understand it. Like I get why they would want to be doing that. it's ultimately his downfall, but
Yeah.
it could not have, if it wasn't for Han Solo and Lando Calrissian, he would have fucking won. Like,
Right.
he would have squashed the whole Akbar thing. Chris says, as much as he loved the book, he didn't think it would translate well into a movie. I don't know about that.
Yeah,
I feel like it could be done.
The thing is, it's like this would be this book specifically. It would almost have to be in a feel of like Andor season 1, because there is a lot. I mean, yes, there's a lot of action, there's a lot of space fights and like big set pieces, but there's also a lot of subversiveness, and it's it's basically a spy movie, and like I could get behind that shit 100%.
This is kind of the Winter Soldier of Captain America films.
Yeah.
Where it's
except I would
political.
actually watch this.
That was a good one. Yeah, I mean, I do think they could make this into a film. I would personally like to see the whole Thrawn trilogy be like 6 films, 2 each, so that you can spend a little bit of time developing story and building out motivations and stuff like that. But you could
call Peter Jackson.
For real. Yeah. Let's get a good filmmaker in here, please. Or just, 3 movies, 4 hours long each. Like, whatever you got to do, I'm here for it.
And then he does the extended editions, and they're 8 hours a piece.
Yeah, I totally watched that.
Every goddamn second of it.
In it. I think the strength of this trilogy, especially with the second novel, is that it does what Empire did so well, is create a situation where the bad guys are near insurmountable. The entire novel is the good guys trying to get to the Katana fleet and overcome the bad guys. And in the 9th hour, they get to the Katana fleet and they're like blowing shit up, and they still fail. Like the bad guys still got like 99% of the ships out of there.
Well, and it's so fucking funny too, because it's right under their noses.
Yeah.
Like, they don't realize it. And this is like the last few pages of the book where all of a sudden they're kind of looking around like, we won, I think, but wait, we've only got like 3 or 4 ships. Where the fuck did the other ones go? Because it's a fleet of like 300 almost, or 100 or something like that.
Insane amount.
Yeah, and these are dreadnoughts. Like, they're not, they're not Imperial Star Destroyers,
right?
But pretty fucking close. Like, these are some massive ships, and the Empire's just like bamfing them out. One thing that I did really love about once we got to the actual, I guess, for lack of a better term, graveyard of the Katana fleet was because like we initially see some, because that's what Garm Bell has. Like, he has 3 dreadnoughts, and those are from the Katana fleet, in which of course Lando picked out because he's like, I would know this fabric pattern anywhere.
Yeah,
because of course he would. No, it's not weird at all. That's totally Lando Calrissian. Like, of all the shit that happened in this book, specifically with him, that is the most Lando thing that happened. Was him going like, yes, this material. They only ever did this blue and gold with one thing ever from 50 some odd years ago. Yeah, of course he's going to know that shit. But the thing that I really loved about it is, again, we see him with his 3 dreadnoughts, and they are fully functional, fully operational. They're fucking dreadnoughts. We get to this, and they go to essentially dreadnought number 1, the one that has the master slave unit, which all the other dreadnoughts are connected to, and it doesn't fucking work. Like, half the shit's like just completely destroyed because it's a million fucking years old.
Yeah.
And I really love that aspect of it, because they felt like ancient ships, because they were. Yeah.
That's the strength of Star Wars, is that this is not like a new tech universe. This is an old tech universe. Sometimes shit just breaks down and it don't fucking work, and you gotta wire and like bang on it with a goddamn hammer to get that shit to work. We were introduced like from go with the Millennium Falcon in that way, and that's the entire universe. That's what's so great about it. It's lived in. It's not this fucking Star Trek, everything shiny and new type thing. I love it so much, and I think that's why Alien and Aliens was so effective is because it played on that existing Star Wars trope of a lived-in universe, old tech, and we're just going to sort of see what happens with this, ancient technology. It just felt, especially in the 70s, it just felt, first of all, in the 70s, it felt kind of modern, but it was presented as old tech.
Yeah.
And so we were used to seeing cartoons of the Jetsons and like flying cars and shit. And so we were just like, oh yeah, no, this is clearly old because it's what we have right now. So why would it work? And it's kept with that. That's the strength of this, because we've read the trilogies before this, the Han Solo and the Lando trilogies. Not the same type stories.
No.
This is cinematic as fuck. This is like the movies, and especially that third act when Luke Skywalker is on like one of the dreadnoughts, and he just like looks at Han and Lando. He's like, "I got this. You go. I'm gonna take care of this shit." And he just lays his dick on the table, pulls out his lightsaber, and they're just like, "Yeah, you got this, Holmes." And they pop smoke, and he just fucks shit up.
Yeah,
so cool.
Yeah, well, and to go on with like the just how great that is. Like, I loved the setup of the chapters. Like, there were so many, for lack of a better term, because I'm a Stephen King fan, so of course I'm going to use that as the the point. But like the Kingisms of, it's the end of the chapter, and you're like, it's the end of the night. It's like 3 a.m. I should probably go to bed. But then it's like, and that's when they realized they were breached.
Right.
And it's like, no, now I have to read another goddamn chapter because I got to know what that is. That's just, that's what this book was full of. And it was just really kept the momentum going. Such an easy read.
Yeah, I totally agree. I love the thriller aspect of it, because you didn't know, is Fela a good guy? Are his motivations genuine? Is he being manipulated? Because you don't really know until the end. Like, what the fuck is going on with the New Republic? Because if Fela is a genuine person, is the New Republic actually corrupt already? Right. Is Akbar a bad guy? He seems like he's straight and narrow, but how do we really know? Is this going to be like they sort of twisted at the end and Akbar's a bad guy? So you're sort of like going along, like, not really knowing, but you want to side with the heroes that you're used to, but you're not sure if they're actually acting on the good side or not. They're just acting with people they're familiar with, because with Akbar and stuff. And then the whole thing with Leia trying to get this whole other culture to realize that they're being manipulated is this amazingly wonderful story about this sort of colonial presence stepping on, like, I'm just gonna call it out, like the South African existence, just crushing them, and they don't realize it. And she's just like, look in the goddamn mirror. Like, for fuck's sake, I don't want to control you, but let me at least liberate you. Like, don't you want to be free? And they're just like, nope, we're good. We like being stepped on.
Yeah. That was the fight.
Until like there's just a droid. Like, she's like, I can prove it. There's a bad droid. And then the whole thing changes from that moment on, when the droid like runs away, like out of nowhere, and realizing that, of course, Thrawn sent it in to be a spy and stuff. But
I love that aspect too. Like, anytime we get to see the Nori being the just maniacal hunters that they are, is fantastic. And for it to be the entire populace essentially is like, oh yeah, we should get that, shouldn't we? And it's just like done.
Yeah.
And it's just like, God damn, these guys are motherfucking,
they're like yodeling.
Like,
yeah. Like, get the droid. And she's like, what the fuck is going on? They're like, he's signaling the warriors. And they're like all charging out. So
fucking good.
And they set him, like, the whole entire species out by like subduing Chewbacca, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. Like, just how like they're tiny creatures. Yeah. Like, they're basically like Ewoks, but skinny. And just like throw his ass across the fucking room like it's nothing. Well, I guess I need to stop fighting with you, so fuck off.
Fuck
and
off.
then tase him. Yeah, it's just like so fucking awesome how cool these creatures are.
I love that aspect of it. I was a little shocked So ultimately, Mara Jade needs to find Luke Skywalker in order to free Talon Karrde from the Empire. And so she ends up going to where Luke is, and she like confronts Joruus, and he's just like, Skywalker is mine. He rubs my nipples at night. I will not let him go. And Skywalker comes out. He's like, hey, I don't rub your nipples. And he's like, but you will. And so they like fight him, and they like literally just beat his ass. Like a Jedi Knight. Okay, we'll say he's a Jedi Knight because we have nothing to really compare it to. And then an Emperor's Hand who doesn't really have Jedi powers. She's just sort of Force sensitive as far as Star Wars universe goes. But she's like the Black Widow of sort of talented spies. And so like those two together are enough to overcome a cloned Jedi Master, which just makes me look down on Joruus. I'm just like, are you a Jedi Master? Like, maybe eat your Wheaties a little bit more. Like,
yeah, I mean, he's super ripped, so he's got that or something.
He's super ripped. You can see the veins in his chest bulge.
Yeah. A lot of description of his physique. It's pretty funny.
I love the relationship between him and Thrawn, and how Thrawn's just like done with him. He's like, fuck this dude. He complains all the time. And then Captain Pelion, or Commander, or whatever his name is.
It's Captain.
Captain is just like, but you told us to find him, Admiral Thrawn. And Thrawn's like, fuck off! Don't tell me what I already know! It's the best. He's just like, I know I told you to find him, and I totally regret it, but you don't have to remind me. Like, the dude's a dick. Can we just, like, forget about him? And at the very end of the novel, for some amazing reason, he, like, survives, and he, like, the whole time Mara's just like, he's, like, laying down, Luke, let's just fucking kill him. And Luke's like, no, we cannot harm him unless it is a fair fight. And she's like, no, but he's going to come back and kill us, so we should probably just kill him now. No, we cannot kill him. I am Luke Skywalker. I would never harm someone. She's like, but he's like, he's there. Like, we just stop it all if we just put our hand over, like, pinch his nose. He'll die. It'll be fine. He's like, no! There's like night and day between the last Jedi who's ready to kill his nephew because he had, like, a wild hair up his ass, and then, like, this Luke.
Yeah. So.
And then everyone else watching is like, I don't understand why you guys complain about this movie. It's the most amazing thing ever. Well, maybe because it's not the fucking character.
Yeah.
Like, we have so many examples.
Right. It could have been anybody else. They could have made their own character, and we probably wouldn't have hated it as much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Still wouldn't have been good, but it would have been more palatable.
Would have been acceptable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where are we going to go with this? So I really enjoyed the thriller aspect. I loved the Mara and Luke connection in order to get Talon out. I love the fact that Talon's like, hey, I got a fucking line on some Star Destroyers. You guys want some fucking help against the Empire? And the fact that the Empire is still like just fledgling, like existing, doing its best. And this is a version of Thrawn. Like, I feel like reflecting back on Thrawn, we have this concept that he's the most amazing tactician. And I think the two new trilogies in the sort of new canon present him in a way that is a little bit different than the old trilogy. Because in the old trilogy that we're reading, he's not infallible. He makes mistakes all the time. He just learns from them and he adjusts. And he, like, you know, he clearly, upon retrospect, would not have brought Joruus into the fold. But now that he's there, he's like, I gotta fucking pacify this dick bag. And he's fucking deal with him. But he's still like a brilliant, like, tactician, but he's not this sort of amazing, brilliant mastermind that we're presented with in the two new trilogies, and certainly upon fan reflection about Thrawn as a character. And I think that's what I like about this trilogy most of all, is that when we divorce ourselves from the reflection of how much we love it and just look at what the actual novels are, it's so much more enjoyable and, dare I say, realistic than the sort of superhero versions that we get later on.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
All right, Daniel, how you doing? Thanks for tuning in. Chris, what up? So, if Thrawn or the Emperor, what type of army would you prefer? A droid army or a clone army? What? If you were Thrawn or the Emperor, what kind of army would you prefer? People?
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much my thing. Like, I would take clones if I had to, but I mean, we kind of saw what happened with the droids. Unless somehow I was able to, hire on the droid Gatra.
Oh,
in which case, yeah, droid Gatra all the way.
Then it's just like it's like sort of like body horror torture.
Yeah,
just fucking with people.
Yeah.
You don't remember what happens in the third novel, but you hope Thrawn kicks Cyboth's ass. He annoyed me in this. The thing is Thrawn needs his little alien. I can't remember their name now. His little aliens in order to protect him from Sabaoth because he just can't handle him. Like, there's just no way. And that's why when Luke is brought into the next novel, get ready, strap in, it's coming. That's why it's so great, because he's like, Luke's like, you're a clone. And he's like, fuck you. Wait, what?
Right.
So
like, how am I a clone? I'm a Jedi Master from, back in the day, like a part of the whole outbound flight mission.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was hundreds of years ago.
He's like,
oh, wait, no.
You died.
Yeah.
I died?
No, everybody else died because I'm a stronger Jedi. But how'd you get back?
The best.
I don't want to talk about it.
He's like, Frankenberries. Shut up! Don't talk to me! Oh, I love him so much. He's so insane. And that's, and it's driven in, like, it's really, like, driven home in this. Like, he is a crazy person. Everyone knows it. And literally everyone that interacts with this dude knows he's insane. The Empire knows he's a clone. He has no idea. The good guys just think he's a wacky, crazy fucking old man. And Luke is doing his best to noodle, like, the math. He's like, but you're, and then how old are you? And then, like, you lived when? And then, like, what happened? And, like, how is this possible? And he's like a student who doesn't understand arithmetic, but he's being taught it. And so he's slowly working it out. There's going to be a moment when he realizes it. And we're just going to be like, oh, shit. This is going to go down. This is going to go south really quick. Like, shit's going to happen. So but this is all before the, like, Emperor's Return storylines and stuff. And so it's so great because we're getting sort of fed the whole clone, like, story arcs that are going to pay dividends well into the future of this new republic. And I get why some people don't like it and they think it's derivative and sort of like, like lazy storytelling. I personally don't mind it at all, because if I was an emperor and I could clone people, I would definitely be using that to, like, last longer. Like,
right.
Why would you not?
Oh, those are the same people that probably loved, what was the last one? Rise of Skywalker.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're stupid.
They're dumb. All right, so did you have, like, favorite moments of this novel?
Yeah, I mean, I loved how real a lot of this felt. Like, of course, we get the high and mighty heroes of the rebellion turned New Republic and all that stuff, but then we get the human aspect of it, like the realities, like the dawning. Specifically, like with Leia's story arc, when she is on that planet, just like her realization of what these people are getting put through, what they're, still doing, they're slaves, and just the dawning of, like, yeah, we're the good guys, but we're the bad guys here. And just like, I love those little moments of reality in there. It just made it such a much more compelling story.
I also liked how they presented Thrawn as a genuine threat. Like, when he goes down to Honoghr to talk to the Noghri, and Leia's just like, fuck, we gotta hide. What are we gonna do?
Dude, yeah.
And she's like, Chewie and I can fit in the closet, but what are we gonna do with C-3PO? And Chewie's like, all,
right. I'll throw him in the fucking ceiling. It's cool. Yeah, man, that shit was intense. Fuck.
So good. So and like Rook feels like a genuinely terrifying character. The Nogri feel like really scary creatures with this really rich story that they understand the complexities of like a life debt with Wookiees, and they're incredibly good at fighting, and yet they're still culturally ignorant enough to go along with the 40, 50 some year old empire's schemes in the absence of them like telling them to do stuff. And I love that moment where Leia's just like, you think you're all smart? I have a piece of grass. And I will squeeze this grass and the drip liquid will kill a plant. And they're just like, gasp.
Right.
Like, that's all it took to prove the difference. We've never thought of looking at grass before. We just thought it smelled weird, like a fart in the wind.
Yeah.
It's a normal thing.
It's like we knew it wasn't the normal one that we had, but it looks like it, I guess. So must be it.
We went along for 40 years because we thought it was okay.
Yeah, right.
It's ridiculous. In any case, I bought the frustration and the intensity and the stakes. And now, they don't really help at all in this novel. It's just Leia doing what she genuinely believes is right and freeing a culture from their slavery. And that's part of what I love so much about this, is because the good guys are not acting as if they have a long game in mind. Because, there's this moment where the Nogri are just like, we don't want to be enslaved to you. And she's like, I don't want you to. Like, if you want to join our side, awesome. But I just want to show you that you don't have to be beholden to them. Yeah. Like, you could just be your own people. That's all I want to show you. Like, you don't have to be slaves. If you want to join my side, awesome. If you don't, okay, that's fine too. And that's like, there's this great moment where Han Solo is talking to Feyla, and Feyla's like, I'll do whatever I have to do to be on top and prove that everyone's sort of working against me. And Han's just like, that's where we differ, man. Look, if Akbar did something wrong, we want to prosecute him, and he should go to jail. But you don't do that by being a bad guy yourself. Like, we have a rule of law. And it's like this, I couldn't help but make the comparison when I was listening to that. I was like, that's the difference between Republicans and Democrats. Republicans, no matter what, must win. Even if the republic itself must fall, they will win. Right. And Democrats are just like, no, like, if Democrats do something bad, we will throw them in jail and they will suffer the consequences. If Republicans do something bad, because the republic is what's important, not the party. And like, that's the difference between Han Solo and the New Republic v. Feyla, and his perception is the total difference between Republicans and Democrats. It's shocking to me that this is still a novel idea that people can't wrap their heads around. Yeah. It's not a team thing. It's a rule of law thing. That's it. But here we are. So clearly it's still confusing for people.
Yeah.
Drives me nuts. I love this book. Even though I do think it's flawed, I still had a great time reading it. It has some really genuine Star Wars-y moments with massive space battles. You got the X-Wing Squadron. X-Wing Squadron? Rogue Squadron? I'm not even sure that's right. Yeah. This is Rogue Squadron, right? Yeah, it was Rogue Squadron. Going in there, breaking laws, like fighting against, and Feyla's like trying to arrest fucking Han Solo and Luke Skywalker. Yeah. And it's just the greatest goddamn craziness ever. And then it just ends up working out because Leia flicks an intercom with her force powers and reveals Feyla for being a douche.
So good. Like, it's the dumbest fucking thing ever. But there's a reason it happens so often in movies, because it works.
It was fun.
Yeah.
I don't even care.
I was like, oh, no, sorry, sir. You're not in charge of the fleet anymore. You're kind of an asshole. So we're just going to go ahead and tell you to go fuck yourself, kindly. Yeah, love that shit, man.
This trilogy is making him love Han even more, which is one of the favorite aspects of it. Han and Thrawn have been your two favorite characters so far. Yeah, this is tough for me because I love Mara for who she will be in this, because we see the sort of trajectory. I hated the first novel where her and Luke were stuck on, where the fuck that planet name was, and Merkur, and just sort of like trying to evade Thrawn's assault force and survive the jungle and stuff, because I knew where she was going. But this is where we see her making that actual personal choice of seeking out Skywalker and working through the trauma of her experience to get closer to where I know I'm going to be super happy with where they're going to end up, because I really want Ben. I need Ben. Like, I know he's coming.
He's so fucking good.
Come. Like, the future EU is insane, but it's like literally Luke and his son Ben just world hopping. It's so cool.
Fuck yeah. That's the kind of exile that I want to go into. Yeah. Like, oh, well, I'm not allowed to be here anymore? Cool. I'm taking my friend.
We're just going to stop by gas stations along the way.
Yeah. I'm going to learn new stuff every time. I'm going to talk to some sentient crystals.
It gets so cool.
It's
I love
fucking
it so
good, man.
It gets weird, but it also gets...
It gets really very weird. But, yeah.
It's going to get really weird next book. For people who aren't used to clones, it's going to get really fucking weird. Really fucking quick with Luke. So brace yourselves. Because it's coming. All right, so we talked about least favorite. What was your... Did we? Least favorite, or did we do most favorite?
We did most favorite. I kind of had... I don't remember. I know I had mentioned something earlier, but I mean, it's sort of like nitpicky shit. Yeah. Sorry, I'm looking at the notes to see if there's anything I can remember. I mean, there's not really... Like, I would have to really dig to find something I didn't like. Because the thing is, like, even the characters that you don't like, you're not supposed to like them.
Right.
Like, that's the whole point of it. Yeah. It's to, propel the story. So it's like, there's not even really anything that stands out of like, oh, well, this was not the best part of the book. Like, I know there was something I said earlier, but it's so of no consequence that put on the spot, I can't think of it.
Yeah.
Like, it was a fun read.
I love that they present so many characters in this, and they all have their own motivations that do not align with anyone else's. It's almost like you have to have that sort of insane board with strings like tracing around it to understand the different motivations and machinations. The only way that Thrawn can be as effective as he is in this is when everyone's so disparate and working against each other in so many different ways. Because as soon as anyone actually realizes what he's doing, they'll all unify against him. But that's the strength of Thrawn and the fledgling empire, is that they're smart enough to know they cannot present themselves as the big bad guys to everyone. They have to manipulate people behind the scenes in order to present an actual threat and try to overthrow this New Republic. And the New Republic is so fractured and so fragile that it's easily manipulated. And that's the strength of the Empire, is that people want to have the semblance of freedom, but they don't know how to do it. And they certainly don't want someone else telling them how to do it, because then they're going to just rage against that machine. Oh, it's so great. It's so great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm really looking forward to this next novel. I hope you guys are looking forward to it too. Let us know what your favorite part of this novel was, or least favorite. And if you didn't like this at all, let us know, and we'll tell you why you're wrong.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Because that's what we do.
If we're always willing to listen to what other people have to say, and we don't have to agree. We just have to celebrate what we love about Star Wars without being shit asses. And we'll try to do that. We'll try.
Unless it's something really stupid, then we'll probably make fun of you.
Yeah, that's true. Like that shirt you're wearing. What the fuck are you doing? Like,
oh man! I
wasn't talking to you. I was like this sort of like pretend.
I was a wedding officiant for a really gay wedding today.
Were you really?
Yeah.
You like wed people today?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I guess my invite didn't come in the mail.
Well, yep. See,
jerk face. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was basically.
I could be your altar boy.
That would have been fantastic. Could have really made that gay wedding even that much more gay. Yeah, no, it was a very, very small turnout. It was literally just the moms
Aw.
and the one, like my friend's now wife, like her sons, and then the dogs.
Aw.
So
Aw.
it was cool.
That's cool. Well, congratulations on another wedding. You're getting prolific in your marriage of people.
Yeah.
What's your rate of success, like long-term success? Do the people that you marry stay together, or do they like get divorced after a little bit? What's your batting average?
I think I'm like batting 100, to be honest.
Oh shit.
I don't think I've had a single couple divorce.
Oh shit.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, really, the only one I guess there's two now that I'm concerned about. That's, my friend who I married today, and then my sister and her husband.
You're concerned the one you married today?
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't give a fuck. Everybody else gets divorced. It was a gig. Like my friend. I mean, this is one of my closest friends. Like, so it was an honor that she asked me to marry her and her now wife. So that was cool. Then I married my sister and her husband a couple of years ago. So those are the two I'm really, really rooting for, because if they break up, it'll be devastating.
Yeah. All right. Well, I love love, so let's hope it sticks together.
Oh, yeah. And hopefully it's still legal.
Yeah, I mean, we have a couple days left, so let's just enjoy them. Who knows what next week is going to bring, because fuck me. It's been a crazy, crazy couple of weeks. With the religious fucking Freedom Act or whatever the fuck just came in, which we know is just a Christian denomination ruling act of stealing federal funds. We'll see where freedoms end up.
Yeah.
I'm glad we have the fucking courts that are fighting this cunt back, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, man. I really, really hope that the other side of the the spectrum really pulls through.
Yeah, we can't count on Democrats, but we can count on the system, and that's a good thing.
Hopefully. At
least the system has a
really
backbone.
hope so. Yeah.
All right, well, that is all we have for this episode. Thank you all so much for tuning in, both live and chat or after the fact. We invite you to subscribe to this YouTube channel, ring the bell to get notified about upcoming videos, and click the like button. This all goes to help other people learn about Star Wars, because who's heard of that? All right, well, until the Infernal Brotherhood convenes again, my fellow scruffy-looking nerf herders, may the Force be with you.
Under his eye.
Like a penis reference?
No, oh god, I forgot that you don't really know the Handmaid's Tale. I'm trying to get into that vernacular because that's where we're going with this.
Yeah.